Say, guys. Greg, if you would, statements and then questions.
Well, we knew what was coming in here tonight. Wichita's really good, always are, deep, athletic, pretty tough, and very, very well coached. We knew he'd have to play awfully hard, awfully well, and fairly mistake-free to have a chance. And a couple of our plans going into the game was being able to try to keep them off the glass as much as possible. We'd like to be able to hold them to 12 or below offensive rebounds, and they're at 16. So you take 4 or 5 of those away, it might be a different outcome. And then we've got to have a better IQ, and that's mainly Brenton. He's got to play the right way on the offensive end. Otherwise, we're going to struggle. He's got to trust his teammates, believe in his teammates, and get more than 1 assist in a game when everybody comes to him. We had chances down the stretch, and he forced the issue on some. We didn't finish possessions with a defensive rebound, and then we fouled him. So against a good team, you got to play fairly mistake-free, and we played very hard. Appreciate the guys how hard they competed, but we did not play smart enough or do the things we needed to win.
Questions?
Greg, you alluded to the rebounding, and that was certainly big, but just hustle plays in general, some of the loose balls that Wichita was able to get, some of them were rebounds, some of them were just scrambles that they were able to get the ball on. Just that really seemed to hurt you guys tonight big time.
I don't remember too many scrambles, Todd, on loose balls. I thought we did a decent job in that, but those long rebounds, when they're guards or they're coming from one side of the board to the other and running down stuff, that can be a loose ball too, but that's mainly defensive rebounding. And I try to tell, because it's hurt us all year. It's hurt us all year that you can't wait for someone else to go get it. You got to go make contact, and then all 5 guys in white have to be converging on the ball like it's a fumble in football, and we're not doing it. And that one possession where that thing bounced and their guy saves it and they get a dunk, while we have 4 guys standing there looking at it, that is inexcusable for a possession like that. And we guarded pretty good in the half court, but fouling and second shots just killed us.
You talk about Brenton. What can you do to kind of get the right balance between, you don't want him not shooting, obviously, but you don't want him overshooting. What can you do to kind of strike the right balance?
He and I will be watching film tomorrow. I got to do that on a daily basis with him. He's not listening to me. He's not trusting his teammates. I'm telling him in the huddle, you have to pass. And we've got guys on the perimeter standing wide open, but that's his competitiveness, that's his toughness, but he also has to play smart, and he's got to trust his teammates and draw the help. He can do that. That's his. I tell him, you've done your job when you do that, and then just take your pick of the open teammates and make those plays. And I thought we were down 2 with the ball a couple times, and he forced the issue and forced shots, and his field goal percentage would be a lot better if he didn't take such poor shots. And I think if he didn't take bad shots and the ball moved a little more, he'd get better shots. So it's he's got to help us. He's got to help us because he's our best player and our best scorer. So he's got to be able to help us with doing other things.
It's unfortunate because you did get some contributions from some others today when they did get the ball at times. Jordan Barnes obviously late. Alondre Rickman played relatively well. Donnie Franklin in the first half. Did you see some encouraging signs out of some guys who maybe haven't struggled? Some of them maybe have, but showed a little bit more moxie.
Well, especially JB and Bronson. I thought those 2 guys contributed in both halves and at both ends of the floor. Now, Mondre and Donnie did some good things, but they were also very guilty of that bad spurt that we had when we got down double digits. We'd take a bad shot, not get back, and they got a dunk and a transition basket. And you can't let getting your shot blocked on offense cause us not to get back on D. So it's just things we got to learn from. I had to use a timeout. We have to shorten that spurt. Those guys got to be better. They were effective in the first half. They got to be effective in the second half because a good team like that, they're going to step on your throat, and that's what they did in that spurt.
Yeah, it seemed like obviously you give a team like Wichita an inch and they're going to take a mile. How do you try to impart that lesson to guys? For some of these guys, it was the first time they played them or played them significantly. How do you take something not positive out of it, but turn it into something positive and say, here's how it is?
What was that run, Did you keep it?
Wichita's
when
run?
they got up double digits.
I think it was 11-1.
11-1.
Yeah.
Well, basketball's a game of runs, and that can't be 11-1. It needs to be 5-1. You know, when we go down and concentrate and get a good basket, somebody goes and gets a shot block, they get a transition basket, you got to know you got to come down and you've got to work the basketball to get a good shot and then go down and be a little more difficult. You can't let them get runouts and score against when your defense isn't set. So you show them those tapes, you know, and I think in that in that frame, some of those guys that come off the bench, they're worried about something on offense and they don't get back like they need to. And it's not a jog back against them. It is a dead sprint, and we didn't do any of that. So they'll learn from it. Again, they did some good things. We got some good contributions at times. Again, Bronson and JB in particular, and those other guys got to learn from it. Because we need them. I mean, we have to have Donnie, we have to have Amandre playing better all the time.
Anything else for Coach?